Hello, everybody. Everybody out there hear me all right? How's everybody doing tonight? How's everybody out there? Can you all hear me? All right. Give me a number one if you can hear me okay. Just want to make sure that everything's working good here. All right. There we go. Let's see who all is in here. We'll go back, scroll back to the top. Southern Florida, DCL. How you doing? Nice to see you. Thank you for joining in. Trapper Bob Patriot, thank you for joining in. JT, good to see you. Sean, how you doing tonight? Raymond, Rhode Island. Oh, little nasty up there today, huh? Or over the last few days, I should say. Who else is in here? Dun, dun, dun. Sweet Liberty, nice to see you. Thank you. Bob R. Hey, how you doing? Pitbull, how you doing today? Jan, nice to see you. Brooklyn Finest, welcome. Maria, how you doing? All right, we'll give this another minute or so and see if there's anybody else jumps on before we get going on today's live stream. Yeah, it's a nasty day here in Florida. Once again, I tell you, it's just amazing. It's cold. It's like 58 degrees, rain, once again, windy. All right. So I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody has weathered all these different storms that's been going all across the country here. It's been a disastrous week in a sense. I know it's at my job, it's slowed a lot of things down. The planes and the trucks and everything else. So it's definitely impacted us. And I know it's impacting a lot about what we're going to talk about here shortly, on, the main factor of shortages and everything that is going on in our daily lives and everything that you could possibly need and all that kind of stuff. We'll give this one more minute. Just want to make sure I've recognized everybody. I thank everybody for showing up today. The main key here is prepping, folks. We have to stay on the ball. We have to stay ahead of the game. We have to make sure that we're trying our best to do whatever we can to be ready for whatever the future holds for us here in America. There's a lot of stuff that's going on and everything else, and it's just a scary situation. And today we're talking about the main factor of shortages and everything that we want, from car parts to food to cleaning supplies to everything. There's all these different factors and stuff that go into what we are going to be discussing. All right. So we're about 5 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and get started here. Once again, thank you all for joining me today. I'm Survival Preparedness for Beginners. And I want to start off, and we're talking about the shortages and what is taking place. A shortage, just so everybody really kind of understands, is in economic terms, I guess you could put it, is a condition where the quality and the quantity demanded is greater than the quantity supplied at the market price. There are three main causes of shortages, if you really think about it. One is increase in demand, obviously, and two is decrease in the supply, which we're all seeing in the stores, whether it be a grocery store, auto parts store, a clothing store, a linen store, phone stores, you name it, we're seeing a decrease in the supply. And the last one is the one that really will get us in the end, and that is the government intervention. That there is, once the government starts stepping in and wanting to run everything and control whatever, that just turns into a total nightmare, folks. So that's something we really have to pay close attention to. There are three main causes of shortages, and I'm going to try to explain these the best way I can. Increase in demand, which is considered the outward shift in demand curve. Okay. Let me give you an example. That would be considered something like there was a sudden heat wave and an unexpected spike in energy, but there wasn't the energy for the demand. They don't have the energy, which causes the blackouts. So that's the increase in demand. The decrease in supply, which is the inward shift in the supply curve. All right. So you have an outward and you have an inward. So the inward supply, that would be, let me give you an example of that one. I live in Florida. Here's a good one. An unexpected freeze resulted in the destruction or damage of orange crops, like here in Florida, which causes a drastic reduction in the supply of orange juice. So that's where that would come into play in that one. And government intervention, well, the government intervention shortages can be result of the government imposing price ceilings. Now, if you don't know what price ceilings is with the government, a price ceiling is basically a mandated maximum amount a seller is allowed to charge for any type of product or service of, food, tires, batteries, whatever it may be. Okay. Whatever the government mandates for that. And it's usually set by law by price ceilings, and typically apply to staples such as food and energy products. That's the most popular ones, is your food and energy. So your gas, oil, electric, those type of things, and then all your food products. And they want to make it so the goods become usually unaffordable to regular customers when they put these price ceilings in. And a price ceiling is basically an essential type of price control. Something we have to face as a country. We have to face as a society nowadays that these food shortages that are going on could be permanent. And the reason being is there's just so many things that are stacked against the whole supply and demand. And labor shortages in the food industry and in most industries means that customers may not be able to find products in the supermarkets, the stores. You may be going in there looking for certain things. I know there's auto parts that people can't get. They can't get the parts to fix their cars. You know, you go into the grocery store, you see the empty shelves. It's a big, huge snowball rolling down the hill, if you get what I'm saying. And it's just a mess right now. And some of the things that are going into this is really a lot of factors, especially right now. We have the Charlie Victor 19 and its little offspring that has been plaguing the whole country. All right. So a lot of people have been either freaking out about that or, whatever. And they've been either trying to buy certain products because they're, cleaning products or, the home tests, there for a while, you couldn't find those in the stores, masks and all this kind of stuff. People are, they're buying up all this stuff as fast as they can, food products and everything, because maybe, they're scared there's going to be more lockdowns, mandates, maybe whatever. But that's just one part of the equation here. The second part is the wicked weather that we've been having that's been affecting most of the country. This last storm that went through stretched from Texas all the way to the Northeast and affected everybody with ice, snow, rain, the whole 9 yards. And people just got either dumped on in snow, heavy ice, which crippled everything. It's just a snowball effect here. And when we have those types of storms, when things don't move, we're getting behind the 8 ball all over again. And I really believe that most stores and everything, they run on this system called just in time. All right. And I don't believe that this just in time system is no longer working because they can't get the products. So a lot of these companies need to come up with a different way to get the goods to the stores so that we can buy the goods if we need those goods. Now, if you've been prepping or if you've been really diligent on what you use and you've been trying to put up that stuff up as you see it or it's on sale, anything to save some money right now is what you got to be doing. You got to watch sales. You have to watch whatever it is. If you get an app on your phone, you can save money on gas and you can, whatever you can do to try to save whatever money you can at this point in time is so critical. It's like you're playing a card game here and, it's getting really tough here. You don't know which card to discard and you don't know if you want to keep the cards and you're scared of what you're going to get dealt. And then I saw something the other day, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to get a good chuckle out of this. I was scrolling through the news and on the internet, and I run across this article, and I'm just going to tell you the headline, and it was "People are hoarding. Food shortage is the next supply chain crunch," and I just chuckled because it's just like, did somebody just figure out that there's a problem with the food chain, with food getting to the stores, food getting to the restaurants, food getting to anywhere? I mean, really? Where have you been for, I don't know, since March of 2020? We haven't caught up since then, and here we are in 2022. And we're coming up, we just started February. March next year will be, it's I just got a chuckle out of that one, that people are hoarding now, but a lot of people don't particularly have food available at their houses. A lot of people don't shop like people used to. People used to go to the store and on the weekend, they buy what they needed for the whole week. There's so many people that go to the store almost on a daily basis to buy their dinner, whatever they're going to cook for dinner that night. And I don't think that's a great idea. I think you should plan out and know this way here, if something happens, even if you're just doing a week, at least you got a week's worth of food in the house. You're not just basing it on a daily, going to the grocery store. Now, some of the things that are really playing into this, trucks. All right. We have a shortage of truck drivers. Now, depending on whatever news agency you listen to or whatever articles you read online, it's anywhere between 80,000 and 100,000 truckers that we're short right now in this country. Now, I know they have lifted a lot of different restrictions and everything else. They lifted the one restriction where if you're under 21, you're now allowed to drive across state lines, because it used to be if you were 18 to 21 and you had your CDL, you still could not go across state lines. You could only drive in your state. So the government lifted that one. So now those guys or gals can drive across state lines. But they still have a huge shortage, and they're trying to put together more and put up more schools and stuff to get people through the schooling faster, because people are applying, but they have to wait to go to school to learn how to drive and learn how to, they got to do these pre-trips on these trucks. They have to know what they're looking at when they pop that hood. They got to know where their air filters are, their oil filters. They got to know all kinds of stuff, what they're checking. There's a huge checklist that they have to know. So they're trying to get these, more schools throughout the country in every state, so that we can hopefully maybe try and get ahead of the game. We'll have to wait and see how long this is going to take to get up and going. That's the problem here, is we don't know what the timeline on some of this stuff is. Trains are loaded to the max, and they're running East Coast, West Coast, up and down the East Coast, and everywhere. I mean, there's trains that go by where I live. I can hear the train. And I mean, there's a ton of them a day, and they're all freight trains. They're running from all the way down to Miami, all the way up the East Coast. So, they can only move so much. They only have so many trains. They only have so many train cars, and they have all this freight and goods setting in these ports in California that's got to get from point A to point B. A lot of my customers on my route that I deal with on a daily basis, they've been waiting for 6 to 8 months for linens, sheets. A lot of the hotels and stuff I deliver to, they're waiting for towels, they're waiting for sheets, they're waiting for pool towels. They can't get any of this product. They can't even find somebody in the United States that has it available. It's sitting on ships still somewhere, or on containers somewhere, but they haven't got their products. It's a huge mess, And then you have the planes, which is the most expensive way of doing business, but a lot of people have pretty much started going that route, and they're paying the premium price to have their goods, or at least some goods, delivered to them, so that they have product. The shortage of workers, that's really hurting a lot of industries. And I think the government has created that problem, because if you're going to give people money to sit home on their ass, I mean, they're going to stay home. They're not going to want to get out and find a job. Now, a lot of companies now are offering, at least down here in Florida, they're offering 15 to 20 bucks an hour to start. And I mean, that's some pretty good money. What I did see on our local news the other day is a lot of people are getting shell-shocked right now, because they're going to file all their taxes thinking they're getting all this money back, and they forgot that if they collect that unemployment and didn't elect to have the taxes taken out, well, guess what, folks? They got to pay it back. So how are they going to do that if they don't have a job and they're collecting unemployment? They're not going to be able to afford to pay back that. So, here we created another problem. I don't have a problem with the government helping out people. The problem I have is the way the government does it and did it, because they just kept paying them and paying them and paying them, and costing us trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars. And there's a lot of people that were working full time through this whole darn thing here. And I believe that they shouldn't even give it to us. They should have given it to the people that lost their jobs and that was put out of work because of wherever they worked, they closed or whatever else. And that's where all these people should have went, all the money, I should say. The number one thing that you have to really think about is, what are you doing to be prepared? What is the number one thing that you're looking to do to make sure that you can ensure yourself to be ready whenever that storm does come? It just seems like there's just so much going on and so much being divided. And what can we do? We can only keep going from here. We have to make sure that we can survive the storm. We have to understand the playbook that has been put forth, that we have to somewhat play by, if you get what I'm saying. I don't want to get into any, I have to really watch what I say on this platform. So you'll have to kind of read between the lines, if you get what I'm saying. But that's where we stand on these type of issues that are taking place with all these shortages, and there's no quick fix. As I wrap this up, and I'm going to get over to the comments and stuff, and then we can take it from there. But as I wrap this up, I want people to be aware there is no quick fix for this. This is going to be going on for quite a while. This is something that's going to last, I totally believe, well into next year, if not longer. It just depends, because every time we hit that bump in the road, we take one step forward and two steps back, and we're not getting anywhere, if you really understand what I'm saying. So in the end, if you do live in an area where, because I've had lots of people that have commented and said that, on some of my videos and stuff, especially the one the other day, that they don't have any shortages or anything in their areas, which I'm very thankful for you. And if you don't have shortages and you can walk in the store and everything, the shelves are full and everything else, you need to be prepping. You need to be ready. You need to be either starting prepping. You need to be, topping off your preps, go through. Maybe you use some of your preps, maybe you have a working pantry like me. And, I use a lot of the products and stuff that I have put up for my emergency. But then you have to replenish that product. So if you start to see the products are coming back, then that's what you need to be doing. You always have to stay on top of your game. You have to stay ahead of the curve. So in that, I'm going to jump over here, throw my glasses on, and let me get back in here and see what is going on. Let me just go down through here. Jan, cold and windy here in Northwest Georgia. Yep. Carmen, hey, how you doing, Carmen? From Lakeland? No, that's not too far away. Yeah, JT, yeah, isn't that something? Yesterday it was 80 some odd degrees, and now it's 50. It's a huge change. And I know a lot of people out there are just like, oh, you're in Florida. What are you crying about? But in Florida, when it drops like that and it's damp and windy out, it's not fun. Jan says Kroger finally got some of their brand of canned roast beef, but it's gone up to $5.79 from $3.89 the last time they had it. Holy cow, that's almost $2 a can. Wow. That is just, yeah, $53 to fill up your car. Yeah, I hear you on that one. $12-ounce can. Wow. Brooklyn's finest. Yes, it's going to be the new way of living. I would have to say I totally do agree with that. Um, I think the way we're so used to doing things and everything, I think a lot of that is going to be changing, especially if they come through with the reset. You know what I'm talking about, um, and those type of things. Yeah, gas is. Yeah, I paid $3.49 yesterday. It's just ridiculous. Jan 3:15 this AM. How that's not too bad. I mean, um, I paid before this week. This week the gas prices just jumped. At least down here they did. I paid 3.23, and then the next day it was 3.49. And some places I've seen 3.52. You know, Carmen Gas in Lakeland 3.49. Yep, 3.70, 3.79 here. Oh, ouch. We got 4 inches of cold rain from this last weather system. Oh, oh, there's a good buy. Chances they found large cans of double Q salmon for $2.99. We got a dozen. There you go. I'm in northern New Jersey. Ridiculous. Oh, I see. You're trying to get a lot of stuff before the hubby comes home, huh, JT? I see how that's going. You're smart. Sandy, how you doing? Yeah, the taxes are just incredible in the Northeast. Oh, Jan, the hubby's having cataract surgery. Well, I hope all goes well. We'll have to keep him in our thoughts and prayers. Kathy, how you doing? Wisconsin, checking in. Nice to have you. Thank you for joining in today. Down through. And that seems to be the norm in the Northeast, Brooklyn's finest. The taxes are out of control and nothing seems to get done, and they just want more and more. They want to tax more and more. Um, that's how it was. I lived in Vermont for 20 years, and that's how that state was. You know, they just kept taxing everything, and it. But you drive around and there's potholes the size of lakes. You know, they'll swallow your car. Where's the road work? And you know, it. I don't want to get going on that one. Yeah, exactly. As long as I didn't have to pay taxes on it, Jan. I wish someone would offer me money to sit home on my ass. We've been taking our child tax credit money to do our food storage. Hey, that's kind of a smart idea. I mean, if you're in a position where you could do that, I mean, there there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you're preparing yourself and your family for a rainy day. And I think that's a good thing to do with your money is to put it towards something that's going to provide you with security long term. A lot of these people take their money and they just blow it. They go to the movies, they blow it on junk and new TVs and new phones and all this kind of crap, and you don't need it. So, Sean, I think that's a very great idea, and I commend you for doing that. That's a smart thing to do. And I'm no money man, but I mean, common sense thinking is what I do. Kathy says she's stacking more wood and growing more food for canning. There you go. Um, there's not much you can do there. You got to stay warm. You got to have food. And canning it yourself. You're getting food for long term. Keep stacking the wood, because Lord knows you're going to need it, especially up there. They need to open up a whole bunch of temp agencies, pay people out per day to clear up the backed up orders. Yeah, once this stuff comes through, a lot of companies are struggling getting things delivered. Um, and, you know, they definitely need it. I can tell you that. Oh, my thing just jumps. So give me a second. I hate when this thing takes off on me. Pitbull, too many people don't realize that they need to prep. They will wind up complaining because they can't get what they want. Damn, I can't get Ritz. Laugh out loud. That is a perfect point. I mean, it's everybody has to really. You have to take the bull by the horns, and you have to do what you need to do and be prepared for you and your family. And people rely. I guess the way I should put this is Americans are so used to walking into a store and buying whatever they want. And that's not happening nowadays. It hasn't happened for quite a long time. And now it's a culture shock. You don't know what to do. I mean, you walk into the store and if you watch people and watch their faces when they turn the aisles and they look down the aisles, you can see their eyes. Their eyes get bigger. It's just like their brain is trying to comprehend what they're seeing. They're not used to seeing this. And you can tell the ones that aren't preppers because they have the look of desperation, of they don't know what to do. I mean, you can if you can read somebody's face and just watch their facial expressions and their eyes and their mouth, when they see things, you know, even the prices, when they walk over to the meat cases and they look at the price of the meats and you can see them, they're just like, oh, I mean, it's like, yeah, that's what we're getting into here. Tina, how you doing? Sebring, Florida. Hey, how are you? Thank you for joining in today. Damp and windy feels like Baltimore. I said the same thing to my wife just a little while ago. I told her, I said, are we like in Seattle or something? I mean, come on. This is just ridiculous. Brooklyn's finest. I focus on the wholesale stores now. Supermarkets are too low on meats. Yes, they are getting low on meats, and things. Um, it's just amazing. I put out a video. There'll be another one coming out tomorrow on Sundays, and I go on and just to clarify, because I had a couple of comments where people were like, "Oh, well, those are pictures from, months ago and everything else." I go through and I make sure that the pictures and stuff I post are from this past week only. So when I'm on all these different social media sites, I'm looking for posts from then. Now, whether these people took the picture 5 months ago, that I can't really tell you. But I look for the posts that are dated for this past week. This way here, I'm getting you this past week's information and what is being posted to social media. And, I mean, it's just amazing. It just keeps going and going and going. Southern Florida, DCL, we don't purchase any meats from Walmart. I have inside info on how they handle their meats. Yeah, I've heard I've heard a lot of different things and everything else, and um, at our Walmart, this little crappy one that's by me, they haven't had hardly any meats anyway. So, like we won't buy pork chops and stuff from Walmart and that type of thing. I was in Bradenton last night, 349, like here in Sebring, 385 here in Palm Bay. Oh, well, it's more expensive down there. Delbert, hey, nice to see you today. Thank you for joining in. I'm just kind of scrolling down through. If you guys have a question or anything like that, put it in all caps. That way it'll stand out. Yeah, that's where we buy JT, that's where we buy our pork chops and stuff. Is Aldi's. We really like Aldi's. We've been buying a lot of our red meats and stuff from a local butcher out on Merritt Island, and we've been getting our stuff out there, and it's really good. The prices haven't been that bad. We haven't ordered in a while. We did a big order before the holidays. They had some specials going on, so we did a big order then. But right now the freezers are pretty full. So, but yeah. But Aldi's is where we like to get our pork chops. Tina, you went out and got a bunch of types of flour and prompt the other day. Now I got to find a way to store it. Well, you can store it. You can store it in Mylar bags. You can store it in sealed containers. As far as like your lock and locks, if you put it in there, it keeps the air out because they're really airtight. That they'll last not long term, but they'll last at least a good year. I would say a Mylar bag. If you want to put it into the FoodSaver, you kind of have to get a little creative with that one. A lot of people will take and open it up, open the bag of flour and put it inside of a paper bag and then put it inside of the FoodSaver bag, because if you go to suck it out, and you don't do that, it's going to go everywhere. So don't do that. You can also do it in canning jars and put an oxygen absorber in there. You can there's ways of doing it. Oh, I just got Mama Kay. How you doing? Thank you for joining in. Yep, I've been to Petty's Meat Market in Melbourne. Yep. They do have some really good um, meat there. I've the South Florida DCL. I've the name of the butcher that I go to in Merritt Island. It's went out of my head. That's what happens when you start getting older. If I think of it, I'll put it in the comment section of this video. How's that? I'll have to go in and see, but it's right over off of. Oh, my mind's just been going today. CC December 2018. I have 3 large boxes of Bisquick mix that expired on 12/21/21. Should I repack or toss out? Oh, what was it packed in, CC? Was it packed in anything? I mean, did you have it in like, did you vacuum pack the package itself, or did you put it in Marlar bags, or was it just by itself? If it's just by itself, I would try some and see how it is, and if it works and it makes good biscuits or whatever you're going to use it for, because I know there's a lot of different things you can do with the Bisquick mix. If that's still good, then I would repack it immediately. But if you open it up and see if it doesn't smell right, or try making some biscuits, or something like that, if they don't raise and if they don't do what they're supposed to do, they don't taste good, then unfortunately I'm going to say you're probably going to have to toss that, because you don't want to take the chances. Mama K, there's an idea. She buys a 2-pound bag of flour, freezes it, and then vacuum seals the whole bag. I mean, there's Hayes Meats. That's it. Hayes Meats. Plain Prepper. Hey, thank you very much. Hayes Meats over there in Merritt Island. Yes. Original package. Yeah, I'd open one up and try it, CC, just to make sure. Make sure it's not like it's not bulging or anything like that, or make a batch of biscuits, see how it goes, and if it's good, repack it immediately and get it into however you want to do your storage. How you're packing your stuff. If you're throwing it in canning jars, Mylar bags, vacuum sealing, whatever you're going to do, but you're going to need to do that as soon as possible. Ooh, deer, buffalo, moose, etc. That would be nice. Yeah, the AC was definitely on yesterday, and the heat was back on today. There you go, CC. I think that's the wise thing. I would get it out of the box as soon as you can and get it into something that's going to be more towards your long term, and get your money's worth out of it. You know what I'm saying? All right, I just scrolled up. Tina asks, do you have videos on canning? Right, I'm canning virgin. I want the simplest way. I do not have, I do not do canning. Now, I don't know if, I don't know if you know who Alaskan Prepper is. And I know JT and Jan can get his page and throw that up there. He does some really incredible things with canning, and he is by far the best to go watch. I call him the prepper god. He's the one that got me started my channel, and he knows a lot about canning. So go to the Alaskan Prepper channel and go on there, and I know he's got all types of canning videos, and he'll explain to you what canners to buy, what jars. I use ball jars, but I use mine for vacuum sealing and that type of stuff. I haven't got into the canning part, and when I do, I'm going to watch his videos and take it from there, because he cans everything from vegetables to meats, you name it, he cans it. If it can be canned, Alaskan Prepper can can it. So JT or Jan could throw up APs. There it is. Thank you, JT. And Tina, go to Alaskan Prepper and check out his videos on canning and stuff. And I think he does the best of explaining just about anything and everything. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Free at last. Hey, thank you for joining in today. Nice to see you. You know, with a lot of your preps and stuff, basically, you really just have to. I'll give you this is what happened in my household last week. We had 2 boxes of cornmeal for cornbread left, and they had gotten kind of pushed back in the main pantry in the kitchen. So we found them. So we made one. We had made a big pot of pea stew, pea soup. So we made the cornbread to go with that. It tasted okay. It just didn't rise and it didn't do anything. And after a little bit, I mean, after a couple of pieces, it wasn't that it tasted bad, it just tasted different, if you see what I'm saying. But it was a year past its date. And it got shoved back in the back, and I didn't have it stored in any type of container, vacuum sealed bag, or anything. It was just in the store-bought box. But where I'm going with this is sometimes you just got to try the stuff and see. And hey, it may work and it may be fine. Just like with your canned goods and things, just because it has a date on it, that doesn't mean you have to throw it away on that date. Stuff is, as long as you can store it in a cool, dry place, it's going to get you for a very long time past that date. Now, if you start to see the cans bulging, or rusting, and those type of things, definitely you're going to have to toss the product. Especially if it's bulging, don't open it. Just throw it in the trash and cut your losses on that one. Mama Kay, after you vacuum seal your jars, do you stack them on top of each other? Right now, I don't. It's probably gonna come to, I put them back. I keep the boxes. I buy them by the case, and I stack them all back in there. And it's gonna come to a point where I'm probably gonna have to do that, but I'll probably stacking the boxes on top of the case. I did read somewhere where somebody said that they take plywood, a piece of plywood, and they put it in between if they're going to stack them. So I mean, that's just something to do. But I put all mine right back in the boxes they came in, so they're easy to move around, and you can stack them up. At this point, I haven't got that far yet. I do a lot of Mylar bags, and I put a lot of mine in buckets. I also do a lot of vacuum sealing. and I put those in buckets and stuff. I've started using some totes because I have the raised bed frames that I've done videos on, and the totes will slide right underneath my bed frame in both my room and the spare room. And this way here, I mean, you can stack the thin totes that you can buy. You have to go back and watch the video, but you can stack those thin totes. You can get two on top of each other and slide them underneath your bed. And then nobody can see them. You make your bed and, nobody knows they're there. Whereas in buckets, they're kind of hard to conceal, if you would. And now, because you can't store them in the garage, and, you have to be very careful. If I had a basement, unfortunately in Florida we don't have basements, so they're in a spare room, and with my racks and everything else. So I mean, I do a lot of the different ways. I use the buckets, I use the totes, I use all those different things. I use oxygen absorbers. I use silica packs depending on if I'm doing dehydration, dehydrating food and things, and putting those into either canning jars, Mylar bags, and that type of stuff for long-term storage. I mean, it's just there's a lot of different ways of storing products and everything else. I mean, I have quite a few videos. I've got, the only thing I'm not into is canning. I do dehydration, and all that kind of stuff. And one of my big videos, my rice video, I explained to you why I break mine up. I don't store 50 pounds of rice in a 5-gallon bucket. And there's reasons behind that. Now, you may want to. That's totally up to you. But I explained to you why I don't do it in that video. And that's one of my number one videos. It has the most views on my channel. So let me get back up here. That's correct. South Florida DCL products past the Best By date are going to lose some color and taste, but they're still perfectly fine to eat. And you can always beef those up with your spices and whatever else if you needed to, if it was, say, vegetables or those type of things. Obviously the color you can't, but if you have your spices, you can spice stuff up and make it taste good again. Try oven canning first. Yes, somebody else told me that, and I'm gonna have to, I guess, do a little checking into that and see. Kathy D. Salt and Light, how you doing? Nice to see you here. We gotta get Charles to start scanning. Well, I'm getting there. One of these days I'll have to get canning. There's just been so much stuff that's going on and everything else, and and I've got I got quite a bit of stuff right now that I've got to get put away in. I've got a lot of rice, flour, sugar. Been having a problem finding salt. The last time I went to the Walmart, and they didn't have any. Um, and when I went to Publix, which is a grocery store down here, I went there, and they had some, but I wasn't willing to pay that price. It's not like I need it. I have a lot of it already put away. It's just always nice to have a little extra, if you know what I'm saying. I like to top things off. Makes you feel good inside, if you know what I mean. The Celtic Prepper, hey, how you doing? Thank you for joining in. Well, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Bay leaf, is it good to put in with stored flowers to prevent bugs? Yes, I do use bay leaves in a lot of different products. I showed that in my rice videos and those type of things, because a lot of people ask, how you do things and everything else. Kathy D, have you been getting, is that salt? Oh, I see. Okay, salt. 40 cents a container. Maybe I'll have to swing into Aldi's tomorrow and check that out. My 13-year-old boy is missing the Tyson chicken nuggets. Laugh out loud. Everybody out for 3 weeks now. Yeah, chicken is hot. Who would ever thought? But chicken is a hot commodity right now. I mean, if you had, I mean, I got a bag of chicken wings in the freezer. I bought a big, huge bag of them. I probably could throw them on eBay and sell them for $100. I mean, especially with Super Bowl coming up. I don't know if you've all seen, all the news hype about that. It was, there's shortage on chicken wings and chicken nuggets and ribs and all this, and the price of ribs. I'm glad I bought a few when they were on sale, because if they think I'm paying $8, $9 a pound for ribs, they got another thing coming. That ain't happening. Nana Carey Wright, hey, how you doing? Thank you for joining today. We need to preserve it, but it takes a lot, so I bought a lot. Exactly. If you're going to use it, as I did a video on that, to preserve your meats, fish, and those things, it takes a lot. So you got to have a lot, I mean, yeah, the Celtic prepper meat is looking pretty sparse where I live, along with pasta. Yeah, that's been the going thing here is pasta. What I've been seeing as I've been doing these videos that I've been putting out on Sundays is the rice, pasta, and meat. So the three main staples that people are probably looking to get: meat, rice, and pasta. Because rice and pasta, you can make just about anything. That's why I say rice and pasta are, my whole thing is rice, pasta, and flour is your three main ingredients that you have to have. I mean, it's just a give me. You can make bread with just flour. They've been doing it for thousands of years. Rice, you can make any way you want. You can add anything to it. And the same with pasta. As long as you have a way to cook those said products, you're golden. I mean, at least you have something. And then you can fill in with the rest. What are we at here? All I see is we times. Yeah, I think it's the same person from last week in the live stream. Pitbull, I can eat pasta and rice every day. I think a lot of us can. Plain pepper, rice flour. There you go. That's strange because I can't see it. Huh. Maybe they timed themselves out. Hey, on a quick different note, did anybody see in the news the other day? I know we're getting real close to our time here, but I just want to ask, did anybody see in the news the other day on the hacker that rehacked North Korea? All right, so this guy he's a professional hacker, and I guess they tried hacking him. They sent him this like bogus type email, and he opened it up on a I forget what he called it. It was a computer, but it wasn't tied to his system. So it was like a dummy computer. And then he saw that it was a hack, uh, you know, to his system because of, I guess, North Korea is going after these hackers. Well, it allowed him to open up their program, and he found all the loopholes. So he went in, and this happened this past week, I believe. He went in and he shut down North Korea's total internet grid. I thought that was great. And he won't release the information. I guess he won't even give it to the government. The government wants the information, and he won't release the information because he doesn't want them to um, target him or anything else. Um, so he is withholding this information and everything of how he found the loophole and what he did to basically shut down North Korea's total internet grid. It was great. I just got a chuckle out of it. For your last, she finds her salt at Dollar General. There's another place I'll have to look. Nana Carey, hey, that's awesome. 4 days for 4 years out. There you go. 10 pounds of yeast in the freezer. Wow. I don't have that much. I've got quite a bit, but not that much. Yep, going to DG on Monday. There we go. I think I may have to try to hit it tomorrow. We'll have to see. All right, folks. Well, we're running about an hour right now. I'd like to say thank you to everyone for joining in today. Each week, we're getting more and more people. Share the videos, get the word out there. The channel's growing. We hit this past week, we went over 3,000 subscribers. I had one video that really hit hot, and we're up to almost 3,500 subscribers now. And I thank everybody. I thank all the new people that are on the channel, that are in the live streams. The live streams are every Saturday at 6 p.m. I'd like to thank my moderators for all that you do and everything else, and for being here, taking the time out. I'd like to thank everybody that has been watching my videos, that have been sticking around. We are going to be starting up soon as once we get everything going. We're going to start the giveaways again. I've got working on getting that back together. I want to start doing that. And also, just so everybody knows, I did fix my Amazon storefront. So the Amazon storefront is fixed as far as I know. Had a lot of people email me and tell me that they couldn't get into the storefront, and I got on with Amazon. I believe I figured out what was wrong. We fixed it, and I emailed a lot of people, but I haven't heard anything back. So if anybody can click on the storefront and just maybe put a comment in this video that it's working, I'd really appreciate it, so I know, because there's no way for me to actually figure out if it's working or not, because if I click on it, it just takes me to my front. So I need somebody out there to click on it and let me know that it's working. And I would really appreciate that one. So thank you all for taking the time out on this Saturday to spend with me. And once again, I'd like to thank everybody for all you do for this channel. I want everybody to stay prepping. I want you to stay vigilant. I want you to make sure that you are doing your best to succeed in being prepared for the unknown that could happen at any moment. Because with the total chaos that is going on in this world right now, we have to be prepared. We have to stick together. We have to work as a team. We have to help each other out. If that means trying to answer questions and everything, we try to do our best. I try to get back to you. If I don't know the answer, like I did in this video here, I'm going to send you to the person who does. If I know that this other channel or this other person, they know what they're doing, or that's their specialty or whatever, that's where I'll send you, because I want you to have the proper information. My job on this channel is to get you to succeed in being prepared for anything that comes your way. Until next Saturday, folks, I'm Survival Preparedness for Beginners. Thank you once again, and I will catch all of you. Have a safe and prosperous week on the flip side. Thank you again.